Good morning. 2016. Hey, we made it. Another year. Did you see everything that's going on the calendar? Oh my goodness. Like, we need to go to an 8.5 by 17 or 11 by 17. So, yeah. Or 8. I know. So, thank you again, Josie. Article on the back by Janice. So, and, I'm weeks in arrears of reading these holiday eating tips, so I'll just kind of zoom through a few more of them. And if you've already done them, good. As for mashed potatoes, always ask if they're made with skim milk or whole milk. If it's skim, pass. Why bother? It's like buying a sports car with an automatic transmission. Do not have a snack before going to a party in an effort to control your eating. The whole point of going to a holiday party is to eat the other people's food for free. A lot of it. Hello? Under no circumstances should you exercise between now and New Year's. You can do that in January when you're doing nothing else. This is time for long naps, which you need after circling the buffet table while carrying a 10-pound plate of food and that vat of eggnog. If you come across something really good at a buffet table, like frosted Christmas cookies in the shape and size of Santa Claus, position yourself near them and don't budge. Have as many as you can before becoming the center of attention. They're like a beautiful pair of shoes. If you leave them behind, you're never going to see them again. Yeah. More good advice, right? More t-shirts. Do you want to speak to the doctor in charge or the nurse who knows what's going on? I'm not crazy because I teach. I'm crazy because I like it. Right, Lori and Daryl. Yeah. Without music, life would be flat. Nurses, we can fix stupid, but we can sedate it. I said we can't fix stupid, but we can sedate it. Walk a day in my head and you'll completely understand. I might need to get that. I might need to get that one. Jan, can you get that one for me? Okay. You are about to exceed the limits of my medication. Yes, indeedy. Free live concert next Friday night. Well, actually, this coming Friday night at the church. Free. Couple hours. They're really good. They are our grand boys, but they're still pretty doggone good. I actually like the music. So if you like Red Hot Chili Peppers, that type of music, you'll love them. And they've actually got some new music that they've done themselves. So it's pretty good. So young and old alike should enjoy it. Like I said, 7 to 9 o'clock. Be there, be square. Thank you to someone who gave our cleaning crew apparently a gift. They said, "Dear Janice and friends here at the Divine Fellowship, thank you so much for the care and the gift, the gift inside that truly means a lot to us. We're also extremely thankful for such great people we have met here. Sincerely, the cleaning crew." So how nice. And how nice of somebody to do that, because it wasn't Janice and I. So. I know. We do have a couple patron saints by the name of John Lennon and George Carlin. You thought I was going to mess it up, didn't you? Yeah, I know you did. And John, a dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality. And if anybody wants to get me new ones of these, that's good, because I depend on you people, because I get none of this stuff. Everything I read here is your fault. So, and George, just when I discovered the meaning of life, they changed it. Go figure. Politicians. A politician is a fellow who will lay down your life for his country. Any American who is prepared to run for president should automatically, by definition, be disqualified from ever doing so. I have come to the conclusion that politics is too serious a matter to be left to the politicians. Charles de Gaulle. So. Hopefully everyone had a nice, happy New Year and didn't get into trouble, or if you did, hopefully it was worth it. So. Fashion in men's clothing are comparatively slow to change, but a man doesn't have to alter the cut of his coat. He has a fine source of variety in the use of facial hair. Men have been experimenting with it since the dawn of history. Razors were used in Britain at least as early as the 6th century, and for the past 1,400 years, men of the island kingdom have alternately grown beards and then shaved them off. Clean shaven, adopted at intervals and then abandoned, first became universal during the age of Queen Anne. Men of the day were scrupulous to cut off their whiskers. Then, to make up for the loss, they donned clumsy wigs. When wigs began to go out of style, facial hair came back. Its advance was slow at first. Military officers were the first to adopt the new style. You see where this is going to go in a second. It's kind of a lot of interesting history first. When a subaltern grew his first mustache, he sneered at the timid civilians with their smooth faces. But there was one serious problem connected with the new adornment. It drew the eyes of all observers, and the least movement of one's upper lip made it twitch. That was a sign of emotion, and emotion was outlawed by the code of the era. Stern old officers themselves, slow to adopt the newfangled mustache, roared loudly if a young fellow insisted upon growing hair under his nose, he would have to learn to keep a stiff upper lip. Otherwise, the twitching of the mustache would indicate lack of emotional maturity and impair his standing as an officer and a gentleman. By 1833, the phrase had come to stand for self-control in general. Interesting, huh? I tell you, you learn stuff at church, man. Woohoo! Things that make you go, Patience has its limits. Take it too far, and it's cowardice. The vices we scoff at in others, we laugh at within ourselves. Perfect courage means doing unwitnessed what we would be capable of with the world looking on. Ta-da. The CBS News magazine 60 Minutes is the only television show that does not have a theme song. The intense ticking of a stopwatch suffices as the show's trademark theme. And most of you knew that one. Caffeine increases the power of aspirin and other painkillers. That is why it is found in some medicines. A lot of us knew that. Military salute is a motion that evolved from medieval times when knights in armor raised their visors to reveal their identity. If you get into the bottom of a well, I don't know about this, but I'm going to challenge someone to try this, make sure this is true. If you get into the bottom of a well or a tall chimney and look up, you can see stars even in the middle of the day. Yeah, I know. It's hard to say it. It's one of those things that, well, that's possible. Let me go see if I can try. Yeah? Okay. Yeah. Okie dokie. Anything else going on I should know about and forgetting to say anything about? Hi, Josie. What do you want? You want to say something? Okay. Jan told me there's a microphone up here, but I don't see it. Front pew. Oh, there it is. There you be.
Thank you. Okay, the turnout for that class is getting really good. And so if I don't have your registration...
What class is that?
A-Ward, Accelerated Release Process.
Okay.
Thank you. You make me think so hard early in the morning. I do better later in the day. But what I do want to share with you this morning is get your registration in to me today if you want to come, because I need to close it so I can make sure that I have plenty of paperwork for everybody. But what I wanted to share with you is last week I told you that research project that 81% of the people had physical improvement or emotional improvement in those documented medical cases. Okay, that's the process that I'm going to be teaching you how to do. Mr. Parks, the man that gave that grant of $1 million, had a vision, and his vision was that we could stop by a local store, kind of like we stop by and get a nail appointment or a hair appointment or a pedicure or a manicure, that we could, when we had a problem, just stop by like the little mini mart and get our physical and emotional problems fixed in a few minutes. I think we're coming really close with this process. So I'm really excited to share it with you because it's simple, it's easy. Almost anybody could do this. So I hope you come and join me in that process. We'd like to set up a group to do it here at the church. If we get enough people that know how to do this, that's what we want to offer. We want to offer it to the other people from our church, and if that works, we want to offer it to the community. So I hope you join us.
So does that mean if they come in, they do that, that we can also get Twinkies and Ding Dongs?
You could.
Oh, okay. Interesting enough, I did this one almost exactly 3 years ago to the day. The Catholic dog. Muldoon lived alone in the Irish countryside with only a pet dog for company. One day the dog died, and Muldoon went to the parish priest and asked, "Father, my dog is dead. Could you be saying a mass for the poor creature?" Father Patrick replied, "I'm afraid not. We cannot have services for an animal in the church. But there's some Baptists down the lane, and there's no telling what they believe. Maybe they'll do something for the creature." Muldoon said, "I'll go right away, Father. Do you think $5,000 is enough to donate to them for services?" Father Patrick exclaimed, "Sweet Mary, Mother of Jesus, why didn't you tell me the dog was Catholic?" Ha ha. Actually, that was one of my big things. I think I was second grade, and my dog died, and I did say something to the nun about the dog dying, and if we could just say a little prayer or something. And let's just put it this way, that was one of the starts of me questioning because of the response. So, hey, let's sing a song.
Morning. It's a sign. Okay. Rise. You know, you got to get your kicks where you can, right? Feel some power somewhere. See, it even says power. Okay, I want to set us up today for our healing session with Mr. Phil. Healing takes place on physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. If you just heal the physical and you don't take care of the others, then those other issues are going to manifest themselves in other ways. So when we're doing healing, we want to make sure that we address all of those issues. So what do I mean by physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual? Let me tell you a story. It's kind of a sad story, actually. This little gal had fibromyalgia, and 2.5-hour healing session later, me and another person, 2.5-hour healing session later, she felt great. We suggested, I can't tell anybody what to do, we suggested that she might want to go home, have something nice to eat, take a warm bath, just really relax. She didn't. She went to her son's football game because she had the energy to do that, which that would have been wonderful. Unfortunately, she saw her ex-husband there, and they got into a screaming match at each other, which escalated into violence on her part, and she spent the weekend in jail. Called Monday morning. "Oh, I'm hurting so bad. I need a healing." I was like, no. Because the issue, the body was utilizing this pain mechanism to keep her calm, keep her out of trouble, to keep her from acting on an issue that was emotional, deeply painful for her and had a spiritual impact to it. So spiritual impact. So there was unforgiveness, there was bitterness, there was hatred, there was feeling unworthy, there was feeling worthless, there was feeling not good enough. So there was all this emotional stuff that had spiritual implications. So if we can do a healing that allows us to be aware, bring awareness into the situation, that's the mental part, that helps us physically, and that blesses us spiritually, and resolves emotionally the issues that are there, then healing really, really, really takes place. And its healing is lasting and is enduring and really works. Really, really works. So with that said, some things take a little longer than others. Some it's just like, oh, I should have known that. And then once you have the awareness and you are gifted with some energy, you can make a shift and move on and things are better. Sometimes it's residual and it takes a little while to make those shifts or to do that work. So the healing process that we're going to offer today is going to give you the energy with which you can do all of those things. I need to run down a brief bit of what some physical manifestations of energy might be. So if you have pain in your feet, you may feel unsupported. If you have pain in your knees, you may feel unable to shift or change directions. There's more to all of this. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown so you can have a sense of something. Hips are also shifting direction. It's also anything with the legs has to do with stability and strength. Feeling supported. Low back, really low back down here. This is also support system. It also has to do with your core of being able to support yourself. Pain back in here has to do with promises that we've made. Promises to God are often right back in the middle. Promises to someone else are over here, and promises to ourselves are on that side. So depending on where your pains are, those often will trigger and create energy blocks there, which creates pain. Mid-back, this is carrying somebody else's burden. When you hold a box and you're holding it out too hard, too long, you'll hurt across your mid-back. This is carrying somebody else's burdens or carrying somebody else's expectations. So that's usually what hits you in the mid-back. Shoulders, again, is carrying too many of your own burdens. Neck can be, I've got to do it right. I'd be the only one that has that one, right? Head issues are about what you're thinking about, what you're considering, what you know, what you think you know, what you expect yourself to know, that sort of thing. Any other specific questions? I mean, if you have the book that Louise Hay wrote, You Can Heal Yourself, she has a wonderful litany of illnesses and that sort of thing that you can find an energetic connection to, an energetic response to. Are there any other specific questions before we go on? Okay. Yes, hands? Hands and fingers. Well, that's complicated because each of the fingers represent a different organ. So depending on which finger, if it's all of them, again, that might be a systemic question that maybe the whole body is in need of more nutrients, more attention, more rest, that sort of thing. Does that make sense? Yeah. Vertigo, dizziness. Let me ask on that one because I don't have the book in front of me. I'm getting several things on that for you. There's the energy of not having enough strength. There's not enough strength to get the blood to the head. So this is about, not because I don't feel like you're not a strong person. I don't think that's it. This has to do with giving maybe too much of your strength away and not keeping some for yourself, perhaps. Again, if your ring true isn't ringing true, don't listen to what I have to say. It's your body. You're different. Everybody's unique and different. What I'd like us to do is, did that make sense to you at all? Okay. Yes, sir? Yes, ma'am. Kidneys. Oh, gosh, I wish I had my memory is like this long. I can't remember a thing. Kidneys, aren't they fear? Fear. So sometimes when our kidneys are acting up, we're afraid of the next step. We don't know. We don't feel safe. That sort of thing. Does that make sense? Bottom line, it's your body. You may have something totally unique and different for you. So I want to walk you through a really quick process here where you can tune into what your body might need for you. And then while you hold that thought in your mind, we're going to have Phil come up and stand up here. He's going to put his hand on your shoulders again. You will direct the energy wherever in your body it needs to go with your intent and your will. He's just going to give you some. Once you receive that or make that connection, you can move back to your seat, but at the same time then, that energy continues to flow. He's making a connection, giving you that link, but you can walk away and the energy is still going to be flowing to you. That healing energy is still going to be a part of your process until we disperse today. Then all you have to do is ask for it again on your own, and that energy will continue to flow for you. After everybody's gone through, then Mike is going to go through a second time as a surrogate for anyone in the video. So know that you'll also have that opportunity to connect in. So the first thing we're going to do, the hardest thing is usually when we're uncomfortable or we have something that we don't feel is right or isn't functioning to our satisfaction. First thing we do is think, oh, what have I done wrong? If you get out of guilt, get out of fear, get out of shame, that's not helpful. It's not helpful. Who cares how you got here? Be aware, certainly. We need to know what it's all about. But at the same time, fear and shame block healing. So this is not about, oh, this is an opportunity for me to beat myself up again. No, you don't get to do that. If you want to be beat up, call me. I'll do it for you. No, I won't. So let that stuff go. But what we want to ask is, what do you want me to know? Instead of, why are you hurting? Would you stop hurting? That's not helpful. But we do. We go, oh, why? Why is this happening to me? We do that. That's human nature. But if you could stop asking why and ask, what do you want me to know? Because your body's trying to talk to you. What do you want me to know? That makes sense? So here's the process. I'll ask you to get into a meditative state. We'll do that. And then we'll focus on the part of you that you would like to have healed, whether that's an emotional thing, a physical thing, a spiritual thing, or a mental thing. Whatever you want to do. We'll focus on whatever your choice is. And then just be with that. Sense into your own physical form and ask, is there an emotion attached to this? What is this wanting me to learn? How can I be of service to my body more effectively? So I'll walk you through the process where I ask those questions and a few others. And then once we finish that, then I'm going to have Phil come up and start doing some healings. Now there's lots of healers in this room. Anybody that has a sense that they're a healer, would you raise your hand? Okay, lots of healers in this room. I really want you to focus on yourself. This is your chance to receive. If you feel you've received enough, and you would like to bring more energy and send it back into the room, you're welcome to do that. But please, those that are healers often will give first. Please don't give first. Receive. Allow yourself to benefit first. And then we can go from there. Does that make sense? This is pretty powerful stuff. So we might want to have a couple of people who are masculine in nature and strong and could sit on the front rows. So if somebody gets a little woozy, they could kind of maybe help them to their seat. So Phil, let's dim the lights and let's do a bit of a meditation first. Any other questions before we dive in? Okay, deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in again and exhale. And on this exhalation, allow yourself to center and be focused on yourself. There is nothing that you have to do right now. You're here. Be here. This is about you. You get to focus on yourself in a loving and supportive and kind way. As you're focusing on yourself, be mindful that you are a spiritual being that resides in a physical form, and that this spiritual physical union allows you the ability to have an emotional response to life. It's who you are. It's part of being human. You also have the ability to process information, process data, make decisions, analyze things. And be mindful of the fact that all four aspects of yourself are harmonized, are working together. And that as they work together, you become more healthy, more efficient. Your choices in life are based on your physical capacity, your spiritual destiny, the information that you process, along with your emotional choices. So allow yourself to just be here in this moment. If there's anything that is of physical concern for you, bring your attention there. Without judgment, leave the judgment behind. This is not about judgment. Bring your attention, bring loving kindness and open curiosity into that space. And as you bring this loving, open curiosity, ask this part of your being what it might want you to know. Ask if there's a feeling attached to this discomfort. Ask if there's a message about this. Ask if it's yours. There are many empaths in this room, and sometimes we carry other people's anguish, other people's sorrow, other people's pain. It may not even be your own. Ask now if there's anything that would help this feel better for you. Ask this part of your being, what would help it feel okay? What would help it feel resolved, nurtured, and appreciated? Perhaps there's a change in something you need to eat. Maybe it would be good for you to take a day off. Maybe it'd be good to Add exercise into your routine. Maybe it'd be good to find someone to communicate with, to chat with, have more friends, go dancing, bring music into your life. This is a very wise part of you that loves you so much it wants to communicate with you in a way that you can receive in a loving way. Ask now for this to give you a feeling that everything is all okay. What would all okay feel like for this part of you? Sometimes we hang on to things and we don't even remember what it feels like to be okay. Ask this to bring to you the sense of all okay. What would it feel like if it was all okay? Ask if there's anything else it wants you to know. Tell it that you care and that you want to be a willing participant in the healing process. Tell it that you'll keep in touch. You'll check back in with it. You're not going to ignore it. You're going to be mindful of this. Not to worry, not to be afraid, not to anguish about it, but just let it know that it's care. It's cared for. You do care for your physical form. And Mr. Phil, are you ready? Come on up front. So, when you're ready, come on up and just stand in front of Phil. Make sure that you're close enough so that he doesn't have to reach over and hurt his back.
Or fall
Or
on
fall.
you. When you
So, hands on the shoulders and This is a sacred process, and it has physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual components. The physical components is the actual act of consuming. The emotional is that we're tuned in, we're grateful, we're joyful, we're happy to be here, we feel safe. The mental is we choose. We understand that this is a sacred ceremony and we're not just eating crackers. So we have an awareness that we're bringing into the process. And then the spiritual aspect is that we are connected to Divine Source in this process. So would you join us in prayer, please? Loving Spirit of Light, as we partake of this, help us to honor our physical form. Help us to be kind to our physical form. And we ask that you support us as we walk through this physical path, this physical journey called life. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Blessings. As that continues around, would you join us in prayer again, please? Loving Spirit of Light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life, all of it, and know that we are blessed in all that we do. We ask that you help us to be mindful and aware and present in our own lives. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Do you have a calendar up here?
Yeah. I'll do it.
Avalanche.
2016. Absolutely amazing. Going into our 19th year. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, pretty amazing. We thank you so much for this. I mean, we wouldn't be doing this if you weren't here. I mean, it'd be nothing for us to walk out and just close the doors and have fun Sunday morning at home. But you know, there's never been a day, never, ever been a Sunday, ever, that we didn't get up and go, hey, another Sunday, cool. Not once.
Amen.
And thank you so much, because we can't be here without you, and we can't be without this either. I mean, we just got a building to keep open, and a lot of things we try to do. And look at that calendar. I mean, good grief. That's exactly what we wanted to have happen. This thing is going on all the time here, even on a daily basis when there's 2 or 3 things going on. So, thank you. Happy New Year.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Bill. Speaking of the calendar, I wanted to bring your attention to the 16th, which is destiny mapping. This is a really fun process. If you don't have a set of tarot cards and you want to borrow one of mine, let me know in advance. But it's just a way cool process to look at. Yeah, I got it. To look at what is manifesting in your life and how your life is unfolding and what you can do to help yourself. I did this with Dan and Marianne not so long ago. Was that fun or what? It was way fun. It was very fun and very surprising and enlightening and wonderful. So you really would like to take a look at that. Dream Quest class with me. It's a new series, so if you're interested in taking that class, ask me. I have a handout for that for you. And there seems to be a couple of other classes. You can speak to the teachers. Their phone numbers are on the calendar. I wrote the blessings for the new year. I have them from the last few years. You want to hear what the last few years were? So in 2011, this is what I wrote. Another new year. God only knows what this year will bring. We do know this: the universe responds to whatever energy resonates within our heart. Fear brings opportunities to be afraid. Joy brings opportunities for joy. Anger brings opportunities to be angry. Love brings opportunities to give and receive love. The choice is ours. Circumstances may vary. We may suffer hardships along the way throughout this next year. Yet those hardships cannot remove the energy resonating within our hearts. We can experience deep joy even when our health might be suffering. We can experience the deepest level of love even when we experience rejection from dear friends and family. Pollyanna pretends there's no trouble until the point that she can pretend no more and crashes into deep, unshakable sorrow. Unlike Pollyanna, the resonance of joy abides within us whatever our circumstances may hold. How do we acquire that kind of joy? We replace happiness with joy. Happiness depends upon our external circumstances. My weight goes down, I'm happy. My weight goes up, I'm miserable. The happy track takes us up one side of the emotional roller coaster and down the other, depending on a vast set of variables over which we have little or no control. Control of my weight happens at the dinner table, not at the moment I'm standing on the scale. At that moment, it's just read 'em and weep. We all have our own happy tracks that shift with time and circumstance. A better job might be one happy track. Certainly, working in a negative environment takes its toll. I can remember working as a hospital PBX operator when Phil and I first moved to the Tri-Cities. I cried every morning when I went to work and cried every afternoon when I drove home. You see, part of the job was answering the phones in the emergency room until the day staff came on at 8 a.m. I'm squeamish. Blood and mangled body parts didn't help my state of mind. Though I felt grateful for the job, I found even more gratitude when I got a much better job 3 months later. Trying circumstances hinder our happy state of mind. Yet the joy that emanates from the soul abides even in difficult circumstances. Happy circumstances generate happy responses. Yet unhappy circumstances need not generate unhappiness. We move from a state of mind dependent upon happy into a state of being based upon joy by finding the blessing. How do we find the blessing? We get to look for it and look like looking for a needle in the haystack. Agonizing though the search may be, the rewards outweigh the difficulty. Say to yourself, I'm really glad this is happening right now because, or it's really good I'm experiencing this because. When we find the because, we find the blessing. When we find the blessing, we find the joy. Once attained, the joy remains, unfettered by external circumstances and emotional judgments. Happy or not happy feelings about the situation. Even in grim circumstances, grace shines through, blessings abound. Joy takes root and strengthens us from within, beyond the reaches of life's happenings. What will the new year bring? It offers joy. Take it on. Each new day may offer new choices, new circumstances, or new experiences. Claim the joy that rightfully belongs to you, and from that filter, see that joy in all things in the new year. May you be blessed. Why don't I read another one next time? That'll be good for now. So going to just sit up here for a minute and then let's process this for a second and then we'll do communion. So anyone have anything they want to process out with that? Anything they want to share? There was a couple of people that needed to have some things pulled off and some blocked energy release. So if there's anybody else that needs that, let us know. We can do that too. So Crystal, you wanted to have a comment?
First of all, Happy New Year, everybody. I love, love, love this place. Janice and Phil, you guys are so awesome. I would have been here on time, but I woke up with a splitting headache this morning, and I still had it when I got here. And I had no idea that this was a healing Sunday, but I just felt like I needed to be here. So I got here late, but I got here. And when I walked away, the pain had subsided considerably. Then I came around to the back, and I had Janice pull a little bit more from that. And I'm just amazed. Like, I even took some medicine this morning and went back to bed because it hurt so bad, and it didn't help. This helped. In the meditation, I wasn't really receiving anything, but then afterwards, I did get some information, so I'm going to check some things out, and
Wonderful.
I feel like I kind of have a handle on what happened.
Wonderful.
But this was amazing, and I just thank you guys so much, and bless you.
You're very, very welcome. Happy to be of service. Anybody else have a comment?
I just wanted to say what a relief it was to find out that wasn't mine.
Oh, cool.
As soon as you said, is it yours? Is it someone else's? Like this huge wave of relief just washed over me. Like, no, it's not. It's cool to let this go.
Wonderful.
So thank you for saying
Wonderful. Well, you know, we're so sensitive and we pick other people's stuff up so easily. So I'm glad that was of assistance to you. Hopefully we can continue to remember to do that for ourselves when we have pain. Just do a check-in and make sure it's your own. Because if it's not, then you can, once it's acknowledged, it does just dissipate. It's wonderful. Anybody else have a comment? Question? Any questions? That's it? Wonderful. Easy peasy. Because there's so many people here at the Divine Fellowship that do healings, if you do have a question or have an issue, say something and we'll hook you up. We'll get that taken care of. So, Mr. Phil. And thank you, Mr. Phil, for your service.